All right. I think we are live. Mm, all right, perfect. What is going on, y'all? It is your boy, Mr. Power. I'm back with another live stream panel. Today, I got some couple special guests, some of my favorite creators online right now, some friends of mine. And we're going to dive into Power Book 4 Force and what's to come next. Very excited. We got my boy Powers Fire in the building. Sam, what's going on, bro?
What's the word? What's the word?
What's happening? We got my guy, is Fix in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on? It's a real powerful
Yeah, sir.
Sunday.
We got my girl Kimi, Chronicles of Power in the building. What's happening? Kimi, we can't hear you. Ah. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We got my boy No Label, the label in the building. Mob.
Whoa, what's down with it?
What's going
Appreciate you,
on?
man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We got my boy Entity in the building. What's
Oh,
going
what's
on?
good? What's good? What's good?
What's going on, Ray Ray? We got my boy It's Just B in the building. What's
What's
going
going on,
on?
man?
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for joining me today. We got a lot to talk about. Uh, first off, how is everybody doing? Everybody doing good?
Yes, sir.
Blessed and
Good,
highly favored.
good.
Bless.
So we're gonna get right into it, right? We're gonna talk about season 3 of Force. I want to get everybody's thoughts, and then we can kind of talk about the final last episode. Sam, what'd you think? Where does Force rank among Power seasons this year?
Uh, well, I don't think it was better than Ghost season 1 and 2. Um, I think it was better than Raising Kanan season 1. Definitely not better than Raising Kanan season 2.
Okay.
Definitely better than season 3 though. So I would say probably I'd say third all time, excluding original Power.
Okay. Kimi,
Yeah, but
what
as
you
far
think
as
about that?
spinoffs, this is the third best spinoff season of the spinoff era.
I think can y'all hear me fine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So I thought the second and third season, obviously were leaps and bounds better than what we saw in the first season, and even up until after episode 9, we were on a good track. But this series finale did not hit for me at all. Like I didn't like it. I
Why
thought
didn't
they
it hit for you?
I'll tell you. So, a couple things. I thought the inclusion of Tariq was convenient. I understand why it had to happen because we're moving into Power Legacy, but him mysteriously or conveniently popping up at the same place that Tommy is having a shootout was corny. And then the little head nod he did in the camera, I nearly vomited in my mouth. Um, I could not. I couldn't even believe they was playing with us like that. As a matter of fact, it was so corny that I went back and looked at original Power, like season 1, season 2, and to see what the Tommy character was then in season 1, 2, and even 3, to look at what happened in Force, I it didn't even make sense to me.
No label. What
Thank
did you
God
think
for
about season 3?
Season 3, I think it was better than season 2 and season 1. It wasn't all that, but it was good enough to get the job done. I feel like some of the acting was lacking. From certain characters, but overall they did a good job. If I had to rate it out of 10, I would give it a strong 8. The whole season.
Okay. Fish, what you think? Chime in there.
Oh man, this final season, I thought it was purely epic from start to finish. I love the entire season, and then just seeing the journey of this series from season 1 up to now. It's just great that they figured out exactly what the show was and how it was going to work, and the characters and the whole world of Chicago as well. And so, just seeing this journey within the final season of Tommy pretty much having all of Chicago on lock, And with the series finale, I enjoyed it. I will say I enjoyed episode 9 a tad bit more because, with episode 10, it was clearly more so of just a setup episode for the future as opposed to a true series finale. But they kind of blended both together. But it worked for me, the appearance of Tariq at the end, I thought it was cool little fan service. And listen, I'm a fan. I like being serviced. So give me the fan service. And that's exactly what we got. So all around, it was really fun. My one little nitpick to where it's just like, okay, was Jannard and especially fucking Vic making it out of the season alive. Like, I'm saying Vic is the most pussified character out of the entire Power universe, more so than Dre. I can't stand his ass. He's just so whiny and bitchy and I'm Vic Flynn. No one cares that you Vic Flynn. Who are you? Your sister had more respect in the streets more than you. But outside of that, I thought it was a great, great, fun season. And in the totality of the entire Power universe, it's definitely one of the best. I don't think it's better than Raising Kanan season 2 or 3, but I will say it's right below it because I do have it past season 1 of Book 2 Ghosts.
Entity, what do you think about all of this? Where does it rank?
Yeah, man, I put this season up there. I put this season up there for sure. I feel as though the reason why I see the authenticity. I feel like we got the real Chicago. Gary Lennon did a good job in really giving us the raw Chicago. I felt the first season we didn't get that as much. They were giving us the old mobs. Season 2, it was a bit of a build-up. I felt season 3. So I feel as though it was a good season. The story writing was a lot better than what we've seen before. So I feel it's up there. I feel as though they ended it for me personally better than Raising Kanan. I felt like the Raising Kanan last episode wasn't a finale for me. It was all right, but this was a finale. I felt like this episode, the last one, that was a finale for me for sure.
What about you, B? What do you think of this season? Don't hold back at all, please.
No, I mean I echo everybody else's statements. I think season 3 of Force was incredibly strong.
No limit, you gotta mute up, bro.
I think it was a very, very good recovery from all the other seasons that Force has had. I think when we also compare it to, and of course, different showrunners, we compare it to Ghost season 3 and particularly Ghost season 4. It's like night and day when you look at the quality of what was put out. And I've said this on a few occasions, which is this was pretty close to the feel and the tone of the original Power, which is a tall order to match. And a lot of that has to do with Gary, being involved so heavily. I do think maybe Joseph being involved at a producer level as well probably contributed to that tone too, which is something that Omari never got. But we're talking about the present. But yeah, I think that for me made this a very, very strong season. And yeah, I enjoyed the fact that the fan service happened for Tariq appearing. That is true. It was fan service. We know, but it was cool. You got to see, little Pipsqueak come through, and do his little thing and post up in the corner and do his little aura farming, and then that kind of send it off from there. It was just the final episode was incredibly strong up until we got him in the mix. Then it felt a little GTA after that, but that's like my only complaint, to be honest. Other than that, I think it was very well done. They had to try to wrap up a lot of stuff in an incredibly short amount of time, and you can see kind of why they left some of those plot threads hanging. The thing about Jannard, I know everybody was expecting him to die. I mean, we got to think about balance, man. I mean, at some point, you can only drop so many main cast members' bodies until it has to make sense at some point, right? And so that was my thing. I spoke about this in my video the other day. I was like, I thought at least with Jannard, the poetic justice would have been him becoming like Lamar from BMF, where they shoot him up with some bad crack, and that's it. And he just becomes a streetwalker. That was going to be my thing, but again, I'm sure we'll get into that at some point. Excellent season, though. Excellent.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all of you guys. I thought it was a pretty good season. I didn't really expect too much from the finale. Once they started saying that episode 9 was going to be a false finale, I was like, okay, they're setting things up for people to just already kind of be disappointed. I thought the Tariq thing was cool. It was predictable though. We've seen it coming for like 2 years, so it wasn't nothing special. But let's talk about that. Tommy and Tariq. Should they team up together, or can Tariq just not be trusted? No label. What you think?
Man, I think they could team up together. I mean, Tariq, every time Power Book 2 Ghost came on, Tariq had a new way of selling drugs. It wasn't just a regular on the corner way. So, I mean, I feel like the writers are probably writing a new way for him to sell drugs, and they might incorporate D-Max intelligence with that as well. You know what I'm saying? And I also feel like that, Tariq did, become the ghost in the machine at the end of the episode of his finale. But you got to think about it. Power Book 2 Ghost still going on in a sense. So, like, Too Big could have found the new plug, and Cristobal could have came home, and a whole lot of things could be going on, and they stepping on his toes. They might be stepping on his toes in the way Tariq was looking at the end of season 3. He seen how Tommy had the coalition going, and he might like that, and might want to get Tommy to come do the same thing in New York. So I think they could work together and it be, good. But of course they gonna bump heads. Who don't bump heads? It's power. So I mean, I don't know. I just can't wait to see it if it do come.
What'd you think about that, Fish?
Honestly, I do think they can team up. Now, are they going to be bumping heads? Absolutely, because the aspect of Tariq killing Ghost, that's still going to be a heavy topic between them. That's going to bounce between them to where Tariq, he's going to be a little arrogant. He's like, I had to do what I had to do. And what I see is that from watching this finale, and just seeing Tariq's facial expressions, I had a few thoughts, which I knew we'll entirely delve deeper into. But honestly, for me, from what I grasped from it, is that Tariq genuinely missed Tommy. Like, he really did. And he really did get a little bit jealous when he heard D-Mac talking about and raving about his Uncle Tommy, because he knows about that connection. And I think he genuinely misses that, because we have to remember, Tariq is all alone in New York currently at the end of Book 2 Ghost. He moved his moms and Yaz out of New York. He basically said, fuck you to Brayden. He don't fuck with Effie like that outside of business. So it's just all him. He has no other family, but he has nobody else but to blame but himself. And I think that's kind of like what we were seeing. And so I do think they can team together. It's going to be a pretty bit more of a fun and more entertaining camaraderie because of their relationship and how long they've known each other as well. And honestly, for me, how it's going to work is that, Tommy's going to learn a few things from Tariq. There's some new school stuff to where he's like, okay, I was hesitant about this, but I agree. But also, too, Tommy is going to be checking Tariq like nobody else has before, because who was really checking Tariq in Book 2 Ghost? Brayden? No. Tariq was punking Brayden. Now, let's call it what it is. Effie? No. No, she couldn't really get into Tariq's head like we really think. So I think Tommy gonna really be the one to be checking him, because Tariq is very arrogant. He has a very high ego, and he's gonna think he Ghost. And Tommy gonna sit there and be like, "Motherfucker, you not Ghost. You not better than Ghost. You out here talking and saying like, oh, you do this better than this. You don't even know how we was running things. We had all of up to Tri-Tent City on lock. You just learning this." So he gonna be putting Tariq in his place at times, and Tariq ain't gonna be able to do shit but listen, because you're not gonna be able to pull no shiesty shit on Tommy, because Tommy is a veteran in this game. So I think Tariq realizes that, and because of the family aspect, to where it can work, but they're definitely going to be bumping heads, because Tariq's gonna do some shit behind Tommy's back that he won't like, and Tommy gonna do his thing, and he just gonna wild out and not give a fuck about it. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the money and protecting their families, I do think they can work, especially since Tariq lost his baby, and Tommy's going to be able to like talk with him and be there with him and kind of guide him in a way. So I think it can genuinely work, and I could think we're going to be in for some entertaining TV.
For sure, I agree. Kimi, what do you think about that? Should they team up? Does it work?
No, it does not work. There is a power imbalance there. There's obviously a familial imbalance there, whereas he looks at him as his uncle, and something is going to have to give either way. And one of the things that I think annoyed me about even just the concept of this storyline is at the end of the episode, Tariq says something to Tommy along the lines of, well, you took over Chicago. How about you? And I never knew of you not to be able to take on a challenge. How about you come back to New York and take over another place? Excuse me, was him and Ghost not running New York from before? Am I lost here? Like, did we forget something that happened? Like, what do you think you can do with Tommy, who was running all of the boroughs in New York City and had clubs on lock, streets on lock, all of this, and now you saying, oh, come back and you can run it again? For that reason, I'm like, okay, well, maybe they can go to another state, because what, isn't Tommy dead in New York? So one, he's dead there. Two, he's already ran it. And what can Tariq really offer? And I think one of the things that we used to bring up throughout the entire season of Chronicles of Power was, how exactly does Tommy, who has Miguel at his side, who actually has a crew, what is Tariq gonna do? Like Fish just said, when Tariq left New York, he pretty much cursed out Braden. He doesn't have a coalition or a synergy with the Tejadas. He doesn't really have a crew with him. There's no Effie. Kane is on the run. Who did Tariq bring to Chicago with him to come help him with Tommy? Please tell me. They were just random people in the background and gives a wink and a smile in the camera, and he just magically shows up in the warehouse where a whole shootout is going down. Like, I'm so annoyed right now. So, listen, y'all chime in if y'all think I'm crazy. But there was one last thing that I wanted to bring up about this, but it slips my mind right now, but I'm sure I'll remember it later. But I don't think it's going to work. And I don't think that Tommy is going to look at Tariq as a partner or as someone that he can actually work with, because he'll probably still be little boying him in a sense, because he's so much his senior, and there's the uncle dynamic.
Oof. Entity, what do you think about that? Does it work?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like it's going to be an interesting dynamic. I think one thing they share, of course, is family. So that's one thing that they'll try respect it, but I feel as though it's going to be like a reverse. We saw when Tommy was with Ghosts, Tommy was a wild one. Now that Tommy's got a kid and a family, and Tariq, he's got more to lose than Tariq. So that dynamic's going to be very interesting. I feel as though on top, Tariq, no matter what, his nature, he devious, bro. Tariq can be devious, and I'd hope he stay loyal, but he a bit like Kanan, bro. Like he'll go in there, he'll be like family, but Tariq can be devious, and just like Ghost too, he ain't gonna let anything get in his way, and that's a scary thing that Tommy got to watch out for. He's got a lot more to lose than Tariq, so I think that dynamic's gonna be very, very interesting to see. I hope it works out, but yeah, there's a lot there that I'm not too sure of.
Absolutely. B, what do you think about Tommy teaming up with the Pipsqueak?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's good for fan service, but it's, if we're being realistic, it doesn't work. Too many plot holes. I got the whole thing of them putting in Big Rich Town at the end of the episode, and everybody got hyped. Oh yeah, that's that's the bop. Cool. We ended on that, but at the end of the day, what's the material we're going to use to go forward with that? We're gonna just forget the fact that, and yes, I'm a Ghost sympathizer, so I'm just gonna put that out there. So there are things I'm gonna say that's gonna sound like that, right? We're gonna forget the fact that this man killed Tommy's best friend / brother, his own father. That's the first thing Tommy brought up, when he was talking to him outside on the roof. It's like, bro, AB, appreciate you coming through, but bro, I ain't really forget about that. You know what I'm saying? And then Tariq's thing is just like, now we got to move past that. And I'm just looking at Joseph's mannerisms playing the character in that moment, and I think it was very grounded. It was truthful in terms of, yeah, we put some stuff behind us, but that was grimy, bro. And so that whole thing, you got to think about how important and powerful and weighty that would be in that relationship going forward. And I always say this, man. I want to see more power, right? I want to see more stories come out of this universe. But I ask the question, guys, what's next? What next can come out of these two coming together in New York that we haven't already seen play out in New York in the 90s, in the 2010s, and now what different are we going to see? Who is going to be the big, antagonist they go up against? So that's why I think the dynamic between them and overall where they try to head with that, I don't know. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like there's some sort of corporate agenda to somehow replace the image of Michael Rainey Jr. with someone else. But that's just my thing,
Who? Someone else is in who?
I mean, Mr. Omari Hardwick.
You know,
That's
it's
how
funny
I
you
feel.
just say that. It's funny you just say that. Someone in the comments, shout out Cashy3164, they donated $5. They said the villain of Legacy should be Ghost, but as a CIA agent locking up the current cast of Legacy, like Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doom. Guys, if Ghost was the villain of Power Legacy, how would you guys feel about that? Sam, what do you think about that?
First off, I want to touch base with everybody. I'm tired of the disrespect for Tariq. There is no way they're gonna start Legacy off with Tariq being a struggling drug dealer. It's gonna be a situation like how Kanan in season 2, went to Virginia to spend the summer there, and then he came back, and then he saw this whole thing that Rock had put together, how everything was kind of like how our whole organization was running, and he was looking like, oh my god, like you big time. I want to see that when Tommy comes back to New York and sees that Tariq actually got shit on lock. It's just a lot of different pieces, and he wants to now find a way to make more money. So I don't think that they're going to have this show for Tommy to come in and be the hero. That would defeat the entire purpose of the show, in my personal opinion. It's to really show that like Tariq is really not only on some real ghost shit, but he's actually taking like more weight, like he's taking more strides in order to kind of get to the top. Number one. So I think y'all wrong there, because they're not gonna start the season off with him like, oh Tommy, what do we do? And he don't know what's going on. He's bringing Tommy in to make more money because he's already making money in his current way, right? So that's number one. And number two, I don't think that Ghost being the final boss is a good idea, because Tommy already has enemies in, well, if Cristobal is a thing, if that's a storyline, he comes out, he has to worry about him. Then he has to worry about the whole Italian mafia and trying to figure that whole thing out. Because once they find out Tommy's in New York, it's a wrap. Then he has to worry about the New York Serbs, who already won his head. On top of him being dead, and also the police looking to try to get him too. So he has already too much going on that he has to kind of figure out and navigate on his own. And then obviously it's going to be a new bad as well. Whoever Tariq's new boss is, or not boss, but whoever Tariq is now beefing with. So I just think that it's going to be a lot of I think it's going to be a lot of different things going on. But they also have to worry about Vic and Jannard. If they come around, maybe not. But I think that if they're gonna ruin his situation in Chicago, he also has to worry about that. So I think this show is gonna have a lot of different things, and they're gonna like kind of come together to try to figure out these problems.
What you think about that, Fish? Should Ghost be the villain in Legacy? Is
I'm gonna say something controversial, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I'm sick of this fucking ghost talk. His ass is dead. Keep his ass dead. His story is done. His story ended in season 6, episode 10 of Power. His story is done. This ain't the Marvel Cinematic Universe to where, ha 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 ha. I'm alive all this time. And he just randomly popped up out of nowhere, and Tommy just, Ghost, I thought you were dead. No. Surprise, little nigga. I'm still here. No, I'm so sick of this. Let the man rest. I don't even want him to come back as a series regular, as a ghost, because his character is that iconic and that special to where he should only pop up for surprise cameo special moments. If you want to do one episode or two to where he pops up as a Force Ghost to Tariq or Tommy in Legacy, I'm good with that. But bringing him back to life? Oh no. We already got Vic and Jannard trying to form the fucking Legion of Doom on one end. So what? Are we just going whole ass drug dealing Avengers over here? Is that what we're doing now? Is that what we're doing with Power? No, I would not like him to just, yeah, I'm the secret villain. I didn't want you to be in the drug game, so now I'm gonna try to put you in jail. No, Ghost is dead. Even though may not have liked the way he went out in the OG Power, I agree that he died and that the whole universe of Power should move on, because the concept of power moves from person to person. And Tommy made it out, so he has the power. Tariq, he's on the rise. He has the power right now. Ghost coming back to life in any way, shape, or form would just be a major distraction to everything else going on in the Power universe. And then let's say that Ghost is alive and then he comes back. Then what? What is going to be the most interesting and realistic thing for Ghost to do being alive now compared to what he was doing in the OG Power? I'm waiting. And also, too, let's say he does come back to life and none of us likes what they do with him. What? We got nobody else but ourselves to be mad at because we just kept clamoring and screaming for Ghost to come back. So, no, keep that nigga dead. He's dead. Dead.
Thank you, Fish. I really appreciated that sentiment. What people need to understand is the ghost conversation is always going to be entertained because it is lucrative. Whether we think he's coming back or not, anytime a new show arises, like Ghost is going to be the topic because niggas is thirsty. Now, we talked about Jannard and Vic, but the one person I really want to talk about is Diamond. I feel like no one really cared about Diamond dying. Maybe I'm tripping, but we got over his death pretty quickly. You know what I mean? How did y'all feel about Diamond's death? V, what'd you think?
No, I think you should ask Kimi what she thought. I was watching her interview with Chris and Isaac the day that dropped the episode. I was like, well, Kimi, look, she want to cry or something like that. Like, what's going on? She was the only person who was emotional about it. I think everybody else was like, yeah, Diamond. Oh man. All right. So what about that next episode? Y'all got any more of them episodes? So that's my take on it, really and truly. He, he's a cool guy. He served the purpose. Okay. There was nothing much that he really added to it. Listen, Isaac is a solid guy. It's just Diamond, was, he didn't do it for me as a character. So seeing him on the floor, in a puddle of blood, dead. I was, wow, man, that must really hurt. Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna wrap up this storyline with the Marquez and the Strata card. That's the only thing I'm thinking about after that. So I might be a little bit more desensitized, but yeah, I didn't really care for him. I wasn't moved by it.
Kimi, what are your thoughts on Diamond's death?
So I thought that there would be a bit of a more attachment to Diamond. At least I had one because of what they told us in the story, right? You are trained as a viewer to have some sort of emotional connection to this person because this person was locked away for what? Nearly 2 decades, right? He comes back out trying to get on his feet. He is trying to date. He's trying to build a relationship with his brother, and he doesn't listen to the junky claims about his brother. He still protects his brother to the very end, right? And for the character to die like that, it's almost like a punch in the face because he did all of this stuff to set himself right, and then he had to regress back into criminal activity and still advocate for his brother and for himself just to die protecting him. I thought that that was going to hit more than it did. I did see that people weren't really too fazed by it. But then on the other hand, initially when it happened, you did see people have a visceral reaction to it. When I knew that they didn't really care about it, is they pretty much put Diamond on the threefold science field board for for episode 10. I was like, oh wait, so we're not supposed to care about this? I know they didn't have my man on a science field board for his funeral. They didn't have no funeral, no nothing. They just had G Herbo show up and send condolences to Jannard. Ain't that some shit? Like, sorry, can we curse? But like, I was like, this is wild. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to care about Diamond. And me, during the interview, asking him like, well, what was it like filming this? How did you feel? He ended up telling me that his father passed away that week when he had to film that. So I'm already like, damn, this is a lot going on. Came online, everybody like, oh, so what's next? So who y'all gonna kill next? What's good? I'm like, he was a main character. As far as I knew. Sorry. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Yeah, that's low key a really good point. They didn't even give my man's a funeral. This dude was a series regular, one of the main leads, and they just smoked him like that. That's that Cooper Sacks treatment. Entity, what do you think about that, bro?
Yeah, bro. If I'm honest, I feel as though the way they did Diamond was dirty, bro. Like, you gave him season 1, season 2, he loyal with Tommy. Then all of a sudden, him and Miguel trade places. Before you know it, Miguel the good guy, Diamond the bad guy. Like, I feel as though they built up a relationship with Tommy and Diamond, only for it to just disappear like that. I felt it was, if we had like 5 seasons and they had time to develop that, I don't understand. But with the last season, I feel as though it didn't really make sense. To be fair, I think it went too quick for because I can't go back watch season 1, season 2 again and really make any value with a story with Tommy and Diamond in terms of their relationship. I think it kind of made no sense now, given the fact that all he really did was say, "Well, Tommy, well, I need you anyway. You're at CBI." Now he trying to kill Tommy. Like, it went too quick for me. So I think that was a bit of an issue. But I can't really blame the show writers. They only had 3 seasons. So
Yeah, we smoking on that Diamond pack. No label. What you think about Diamond, man?
Man, when I first seen the trailer, I knew Diamond was up out of here. I just couldn't figure out when. But man, I ain't gonna lie, Miss Kimmy, I respect your look on it. Because when you said that, I was like, man, you right. He did come home from jail trying to do the right thing. He was forced back into selling dope and all that. But I know you supposed to stick with your family, but ain't no way you finna force me to protect no flunky. He jumped in front of them bullets like that. Oh no, I really ain't too much care about Diamond dying. It hit me for like 5 minutes, but after that, man, it was over. He was out of here. He was gone. It didn't really matter. He was protecting the flunky. Shout out Jannard and all what he got going on, but no. Mm-mm.
What do you think about Diamond, Sam?
Shout out to Isaac Keys. I think he did a really good job. That's about all I have to say about it. Let's be honest here. I feel like it's very disrespectful that JP had all of this emotion and everybody was making RIP posters and flyers and all of this stuff. He had a whole big ass funeral, had people screaming and crying, and like you said, he gets a damn bored. So I just felt like it was like, damn, maybe I shouldn't care either. That diamond is gone. You know what I mean? Like, damn, um, but again, I think he had a really good run. If we really talking about his character overall, I think his storyline was good. He had good love interests. I feel like him and Tommy's dynamic was really good in the season. But I feel like Jannar was definitely his kryptonite. Like, it was the one thing that he was trying to. Obviously, when he had that conversation with his father, things changed, and he shifted to like, no, I gotta now protect you because this is what my father wanted. It was like was his basically his dying wish. And no matter what, he he knew Jannar was doing some stuff. He was definitely naive to a lot of things, or maybe he just didn't want to believe that some of that shit was happening when he was doing the drugs and stuff. But you know, he basically told him like, I'm gonna look out for you, and he looked out for him. He did his job as a big brother. I just think that how he went out was so lame because he really should have went out kind of like how Kanan went out. You know what I mean? Like maybe they come into the barbershop and he got drugs all around. He shoot his way out, and then maybe the police die in the process or something. But other than that, I can't see how he went out. Just took a couple bullets for Jannar, who was lying to him anyway, because he was really trying to take him out multiple times with Shantae. That was like the whole plan from the jump. So it's like how he went out was just so depressing. So it was like, do I really care about this?
That's a fact, man. One thing I really just didn't understand is why Diamond fucked with Jannard at all after the first season. Like people on the internet saying, "Oh, he's family." I don't. You tried to kill me. I feel like once someone tries to kill you, the relationship is no longer repairable. Like there's nothing. There's nothing there. So Jannard is still alive. What the fuck do they do with him now? Kimi, what do you think?
Hang on, sorry about that. So, one thing that I think about Jannard being alive, and something that I've learned, or that we may have all learned that, but we don't say aloud, is that the relationship that you have with the creators and the writers and the people of the network definitely determines if you are going to make it to another spin-off or if your character lives. I'm not saying that everyone has that experience, but it looks like Vic or the actor who plays Vic, Shane Harper, and Chris Lofton, they forged some serious relationships here. And it looks like Vic and Jannard may be on a revenge tour. Now, someone mentioned earlier about who the nemesis is going to be in Legacy. Do you guys think that Jannard and Vic can be a formidable nemesis for both Tariq and Tommy? Like I think that Jannard, or the actor who plays Jannard, can hold his own. Is it so much so that he can be this big character that's going to be an obstacle for Tommy in New York? I don't know about that.
What do you think about that, B?
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen the story of what happens when Jannard and Vic are antagonists. So, what might happen in the future, and whatever that looks like, I don't know if like you guys are gonna really go to another state for revenge. Like, with what army? Is it gonna be like Vic and Jannard together with the Irish that Vic still has as the soldiers, and they're gonna just try to pop Tommy? And yes, I don't know. I don't know what the creative decision was behind that and the reasoning. It Vic made sense to me. Jannard did not, but them how they can kind of show up in the future, that's a real question mark for me, because ideally what you don't want a future series that's not going to be a hybrid potential spinoff to be is just to see him like a continuation of the other spinoffs. And then the question is going to come to the larger people who don't know behind the scenes stuff and who don't follow, Power on Instagram and Facebook and stuff is, what did you guys cancel the other one for? If you're just going to now just merge everything up and continue with the same villains and we're just watching the same thing over and over again, isn't Tommy just going to kill them at some point or whatever like that? Like if we see them show up, we know they probably going to die. Like you're going to finish off that storyline. And so I don't know, man. I know there's a lot of things that can happen behind the scenes in terms of, like you say, those relationships that contribute to that. I just think there was a better way to do it. And I don't see the value in having them, moving forward into the future or something. I think if you're talking about legacy, you need, I wouldn't even say a brand new villain, but it would have to be some that makes sense, not something that doesn't, like an old grudge from Chicago that we could have tied up, and you just didn't. I don't agree with the creative decision there.
What do you think about that entity?
Yeah, I almost feel the same way because my issue is Janad ain't even got his boys no more. So all he got to depend on, like Vic makes sense because Vic always got the Irish mob. We can just say that. We can grant him that. Janad ain't really got anybody. What is he gonna ask Madam Wu? Like he's gonna, So the fact that Tom is gonna be in New York, he's already in his away. For Janad, that's away turf for him. He ain't no New York like that. So for him to go all the way to New York to crash out on Tommy seems a bit crazy to me because like, he ain't got nobody. So I don't know. I think they're gonna have to just make it make sense. But yeah, I feel as though one of those guys should have gone, either Vic or Janaba. One of those guys. For me, it probably should have been Vic, but I think one of those guys should have gone because I think they've got enough villains in New York to use over there. I don't think they really need either of those guys. I think they could have cut those guys out. Let's just deal with New York because I don't think we need Janad. Or if Tommy stayed in Chicago, it would make more sense. But if he's in New York, I know why Janad going to go all the way to New York to crush out.
Yeah, I feel like that one of the points that Kimi made is like, I think relationships are the main reason why these two people are still alive. That's the only thing I can think of. Because if it was any two other actors, I don't think they'd be alive. What do you think about that, Sam?
I mean, I disagree. I think I think Isaac had a great relationship with them, but it's just depending on.
But the acting,
Oh wait, what?
the acting wasn't as good as those two, so he was dispensable, in my opinion.
You can say that about a lot of characters, though. I think Mireya was okay too. Acting wise, at least in this type of setting.
Yeah, but
But
she's
she's
fine
still
though.
alive, huh?
But she's fine though.
Oh my gosh! All right, we're making excuses now.
No, we're just being realistic, bro. Like, you know this. You know how it works. She's eye candy.
Yeah, I guess that's why Effie's still alive, huh?
For sure. For sure. You know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that definitely plays a part in it as well. But I don't know what can you really do. I mean, I think they all had good relationships with the network. They came in, they did what they had to do. But if it's somebody's time to go, it's time to go. Like, the writers write a certain way because they feel like they can utilize other characters later. That's the only reason I could see why they would keep Vic and Jannard alive, because those were really the two people that Tommy had the biggest issue with when he got to New York, or when he got to Chicago. So, and just to kind of rebuild that Flynn family. But like Tommy said, the legacy ends with you. Clearly not. He better get Ray pregnant.
So with that being said, these two, how do you guys feel about where this relationship, if that's what we're gonna call it, ended? And what do you guys think about Tommy becoming a father? Finally gonna know how Ghost felt. B? I mean Fish. Let me get Fish in there first.
First off, real quick, just because I didn't say anything about the previous one. Basically, this nigga Jannard's gonna form the Legion of Doom, and what's next? They finna recruit motherfucking Kane. Like, oh, you got an issue with Tariq? Oh yeah, let's team up. Let's go take them out, take all the organization. So that's what that is. But Mireya and Tommy, it's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting because now, I didn't really like the chemistry between them. I didn't really buy into the relationship, but it is what it is with them being here. So what they can do, and then have Tommy pull up to Mexico, pick up Mireya, and him being surprised by the birth of his, we don't know if it's a son or a daughter being born, and just you see that reflection of Tommy having that newfound responsibility, and you just see with Tommy him finally understanding and realizing like why Ghost was moving the way that he did and why he wanted out of the game. So I think with them having this relationship and the baby coming in and them actually making it out, I do think it's going to be a good addition, especially this next step in Tommy's journey, him actually experiencing what it's like being a father. And I also, too, I think the next step is he's going to marry this woman. Like that's the obvious next direction is them two getting married and Tommy truly feeling what Ghost was feeling in the OG power and him actually going to learn and realize that. So I think it's going to be a lot more interesting now with the baby being in the mix. Honestly, is going to change Tommy's mindset and the direction and have Tommy have because like everybody else has said, Tariq doesn't really have too much to lose now. Tommy has a whole shit ton more to lose. And it's crazy because if you think about the OG power, Tommy really didn't have too much to lose. I mean, he had Holly, he lost her. It is what it is. Lakeisha, fuck her. But he never really had much to lose outside of Kate. But now he has a shit ton more to lose. So it's going to continue to evolve and change Tommy along the way. And I think Maria is going to be in his ear even a whole lot more with what he does and how he moves in these streets a lot more. So it's going to be a lot more interesting dynamic moving forward.
For sure. Entity, what do you think about that? Did Tommy pick the right woman?
That's a good point, because I feel as though, when Maria, it didn't make sense, they made a big deal about Maria wanting to leave Tommy, and then it ended up not being a big deal. The fact that she's now moving with New York, it's a different turf for her. She has to having to leave her job. She having to live a life with a baby and crime. Like it ain't gonna be sweet like we see in Fast and Furious with Brian O'Connor and he's got a kid and he's doing jumping off, doing this and do like I don't think it's gonna work out in Power like that. So I think it's gonna be a big friction with Tommy and Ray. Like they're gonna have to make some drama out of it anyway. So they're gonna make it as toxic as possible. But yeah, I feel it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. I feel as though you can't do a family in Power and then be Tommy. Like Tommy crash out too much to be stable. So I feel as though there's gonna be maybe she might die. Maybe that's the way they end it. But that definitely can't work. So I feel as though there's gonna be something that's gonna cause friction between Tommy and Ray. But it can't be a happy ending. Only in Fast and Furious they do that.
For sure. So Sam said Kane teaming up with Jannard would be fire. What do you guys think about that? Kimi?
So, two things. The Kane teaming up with Jannard, that can't happen because Kane is on the run. Unless he wants to come back and get arrested, I don't really see that happening. Um, yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Maria, the only way that this works, or if I can kind of guess what's going to happen, they've been trying to ground Tommy, like all of you have just said, in terms of making sure that he has actual blood familial connections and not just the connections that he had with Ghost's family, meaning Tariq, Tasha, and their children, right? And he did have Kate, but when we initially met him and Kate, their relationship was extremely strained. I feel like he's more tolerable of her now, even though he's annoyed by her, than we saw in the past. One of the other things is the only way that I could see the Maria thing working, and I have a large gripe with the Maria character, is if at the end of Legacy, the way how we get Tommy to retire from all of this is by saying, listen, just go get your girl and go stay there with her, because she said something like, when this war is over, just come for us. When is the war ever going to be over? As far as we've learned from everything that Tommy, Tariq, Ghost, Kanan, every single person, Rock, there is always something going on. There is always a war afoot. There is always a nemesis on the loose. There's always someone else trying to take them out, or trying to blackmail them, or trying to get them to do things that they don't really want to do. So the only way the war ends for Tommy is if he finally just lays his blade down, or lays his sword down, and says, you know what, youngin', I came here as your uncle. I don't want to do this no more. I want to go raise my family. Let me go to Oaxaca, Mexico, wherever she is, and get out of here.
No label. What do you think about that? Is Tommy pussy whipped?
I mean, I could rock with what Miss Kimi said because at the end of the day, I feel like Maria ain't gonna want to leave Mexico. She out there with her family, people she ain't seen in years and a long time, and I feel like she's not gonna want to leave. And like she said, the war is never over. So I really don't know. I feel like she's not gonna want to leave, but then again, she might be open to going to New York, to see what Tommy grew up. But then again, it might be the conflict of, well, why don't you just come to Mexico? So I don't know.
What you think about all of this, B? Is he with the right chick?
I think he is. I think Maria is Tommy's endgame. I think that's what it is. I don't think that there's gonna come a situation. If you look at the patterns of the story, you look at storytelling as a whole, it doesn't make any more sense to tragically have Tommy lose another woman in his life. It doesn't make any sense. So I do think that is his end game. I think she will outlive Tommy. From whatever we see in the future, she will end up outliving him. And one of the reasons I believe that is because she seems to be very maternal, even before she's a mother, if you kind of look at it. And we don't typically see a lot of maternal people die in the Power universe. Now, we can say maybe Lakeisha did. She was maternal with Cash, but Lakeisha also became a snitch. So that's different, right? Now, I think Maria lasts. I think her relationship with Tommy will not, because I think Tommy has to die. Naturally, he does, right? I get it. He's emphatically one of the faces of this entire brand right now that we know. And stars know, look, we put out something with Joseph's face on it as Tommy and put that black jacket on him. Money. But at some point, this character, and I read this article by Gary Lennon on his Deadline article on Friday. No, Tommy cannot have his own movie and be our own version of John Wick. I'm sorry, he cannot. At some point, even John Wick had to die. So at some point, Tommy has to die, and that's how I see it.
What up, B? Is John Wick really dead though?
We don't know. No, because John Wick 5 is coming.
Yeah, they're making a part 5 because of the money. Like, we know that. But
he wasn't dead, bro. Don't say that. Don't say that. John
they
Wick
filmed an alternate ending.
You know what?
I
got you. I got something for y'all. If John Wick ain't dead, then you know who else ain't dead?
Oh my God.
All right. I don't even got to say it. All right, we leave it right there. They pull them back to life whenever they need to make their money. Right? That's what it is. But yeah, I think Maria, she's good for him, and I think that's his end game. I don't think there's anyone else after that. She outlives him. She has the kid. He goes and gets her. Hopefully, it works out and we get to see that whole dynamic and see him really get domesticated. But that's my take on it.
So I want to talk about this guy because everyone's talking about how Tommy, this is his last chapter, blah, 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 blah. But what about Tariq? How long this nigga gonna be on screen? How long we gonna have to deal with this bullshit? How long do we gotta hear he's gonna become better than Ghost, or he is better than Ghost? What do you do with this guy? What do you think, Fish?
I haven't really fully thought about Tariq's endgame too much until we're talking about it now. But what we could possibly be looking at, because I don't know, for some reason, I can't see Tariq dying for some reason, but I can see him getting locked up. And that be his true consequences at the end of the day, because he was constantly saying, oh, let me confess for the Ray Ray murder. And Tasha wouldn't let him. Ghost wanted him to, but he wanted Ghost to take the rap, all this confusing shit. But honestly, I think with Tariq, I think we're gonna really see him like reflect on his actions, honestly, and just that sins of the father type of situation, to where I could see it being a situation where he's like doing all this, moving this and this and that, and he's like, oh, I'm nothing like Ghost, or I'm a little bit like Ghost. I took the good parts and the bad parts, and then it's just gonna be some type of realization within himself. Is just like, whoa, like I'm low key wilding out. And he has that epiphany and tries to change, but at the end of the day, he's going to suffer those consequences because he's the one that broke up his family. He killed his own father, pulled a lot of shiesty shit, been real arrogant. And I honestly think it ends with Tariq going to jail. I think I see Tommy dying and I see Tariq getting locked up, honestly. And I honestly feel like Power Legacy is the end game for both of these characters, honestly. I think this is it for both of them.
Ooh, so that does that mean Power is done after Power Legacy, Sam?
Absolutely not. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Sam.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. This is the thing, right? I think as long as Tariq is alive, I think the Power Universe could keep doing its thing and they can keep refreshing new characters. But I think that you have to keep like some staples in. So like, obviously Tommy is doing his thing now. Eventually you could slowly but surely like kind of wind down his character. Maybe he only ends season 1 of Legacy or maybe season 2 max. And then after that, they kind of let Tariq kind of carry the mantle because they've built other characters in that process. But no, I don't see them ending it after. No, definitely not. It really just depends on obviously how many seasons Origin goes, and then what's the story after Origins, or how long do they even take Origins? How many seasons is Origins? Like, when do they stop? But I think that might be the end of the prequel era. I don't see them doing any more prequels after Origins is over. It just depends on how many seasons they want to do.
Not to cut anybody off, but just real quick, what I can see them possibly doing, because with the Power Universe, you're going to have to eventually move on from these state characters like Tariq and Tommy. You're going to have to move on if you want it to keep going on. So let's say if they were to take a little bit of an international route and build their organization international, because it was talking them possibly wanting to do a Power London spinoff to where it's an entirely new set and cast of characters and a new story and dynamic, and that's how that could possibly keep the Power Universe going on. So that could be a way that could set up a whole new slate of characters in this legacy joint and then move on from Tariq and Tommy from there.
No Label. What do you think about that? Should Tariq die or go to jail?
Oh man, that's a tough one, bro. I don't even know if I can answer that one. To be honest,
Better answer,
I
nigga.
want to live forever, But if I had to pick, he gonna die. I don't wish jail on no man. So I'd rather say I'd rather him die than go to jail.
Entity, what do you think about Tariq's endgame?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting, man. I think Tariq just like Ghost. I feel as though he gonna turn out, he gonna come out looking good, but I feel he will slowly turn into that devious sour. I think he will gonna be sour. I think his behavior is gonna be sour. He's slowly turning into his father. And I feel as though he seems good right now, but he's slowly going to be the devious Tariq. And he ends up being a backstabber, if I'm honest. I think they need to make it as interesting as possible. So I think as though they're going to make people hate Tariq the way they used to hate Tariq before. I feel as though when you see in the beginning of Ghost, you see what he did to his lecturer. You know, he used to be dealing with his monsters. The whole they made a monster out of me used to be a big thing with Tariq. So him making those crucial decisions, those controversial decisions is Tariq for me. So I think as though they're gonna pull him back again to a more of a villainous role. I think there's more chance of him probably dying. And if they do carry on power, I think they might do what Squid Game did. Squid Game did the whole thing in Korea, then they did it in America. They might do it with power as well. So I think that's how it might go.
So that's all the questions I have for now. This is the segment that I enjoy where, if anyone wants to throw anything out there, any gripes they had, things that they want to bring to light, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I have something. I think it was very criminal. The fact that Effie has been around since season 6 of Power, and she has no bodies. I think that is criminal for her character.
Well, she flooded her body She didn't drown her correctly. She's not built for that. There's something that I did want to go back on. I question whether Tariq or Michael Rainey Jr. and Joseph Sikora, if they want to do this anymore. Like I don't know if they want to be a part of this and just only be known for power. One of the things that we can say that happened with Amari is after he did this, it was hard for him to do anything of substance or that was substantial after he left this role as Ghost. And I think one of the things that Michael Rainey Jr., just me speculating from the outside looking in, and even Joseph Sikora, something that they're trying to do is not necessarily distance themselves from the franchise, but not just be known for the franchise, which is why it was good for Michael Rainey Jr., Gianni Paolo, and even Joseph Sikora to work on other things outside of the Power universe so that they're not just stuck here. And that may be good for someone like Isaac Keys as well. And one of the things that I want to clarify that I said earlier is not just that about the relationships that they built. I'm not saying that Isaac Keys had a bad relationship with these people, but I mean there are things that are a factor. Fan reactions to you. I think one of the things that you brought up earlier, that we all brought up earlier, is we thought he was going to have a bigger impact. His death was going to have a bigger impact on the fandom. As a matter of fact, do you guys remember when Berto Cologne's character died? How people reacted to that?
Lorenzo.
Poppy from Lorenzo, when he passed away, and how people was going crazy. I thought that Diamond was going to get that same reaction, and maybe they have done testing to see how people are going to react to it, and which is why they got rid of the Diamond character in and of itself. Last thing that I'll mention is Tariq. Tariq is one of my favorite characters. Do I think that he's going to die or go to jail? I think they'll leave it up in the air. I think if anyone deserves to ride off in the sunset, it would be Tariq. I was actually pissed about Vic still being alive. It just doesn't track for me in terms of what they groomed us to believe and what they groomed us to expect from these type of stories. We've always learned that once you snitch, that you are going to die. And for someone like Vic to make it out of season 2, much less season 3, alive, and be able to go live on a farm or in Tennessee with Ray is crazy to me. As a matter of fact, the only way that they could have made episode 10 better for me is if Tommy would have went to whatever house they was at, killed Ray, and then that gave Vic the reason to come back for revenge. Because you can't tell me, oh, he killed your sister, he killed my sister, and he killed your brother, let's go get him. You was trying to kill your sister too, bro, and you was trying to kill your brother. So what is the revenge plot here? Now, if Tommy would have killed Ray, then I'll be like, okay, Vic, go get him. Even though you should have been dead from season 2. But okay.
And going like back to what you said about the relationships real quick in regards to Amari and him struggling to find roles. First off, you need to fire his agent in that regard, because you see Joseph Sikora, he was doing Ozark. He did that other shot. The title's not coming to my mind with more
Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt.
That's the one.
And the Ozarks. Like
yeah, it's like, so he has other stuff with Amari too. It's like that's on his agent, and also too the relationships. When film and TV, people enjoy working with the people that they are fun to work with, which is why you see the strong relationships with Michael Rainey Jr., Joseph Sikora, Chris Lofton now with like 50 Cent. What did 50 Cent would say about Omari Hardwick and his relationship with him and Courtney Kemp, and that he was wilding out in that interview? That explains it right then and there for you. Is that Omari Hardwick is that I could tell just based off some of the interviews and stuff that he does, he has a bit of that arrogance to him and that high ego a little bit, and that kind of could play a part in a little bit of the struggle for himself in that regard. And so also to shout out to Isaac Keys, but fuck Diamond. He got what he deserved, in my honest opinion. That's what you get. Snakes don't get a funeral and flowers and all that shit. So you want to be a snake, Mr. Oh, you and Shanti's supposed to be the motherfucking dream team, but now when I do what I want to do, it's the issue. Well, what you was doing was do a whole bunch of snake shit, and you turned on your own partner, and you tried to take out his own nephew. So no, you don't get a funeral. You don't get no flowers. You don't get no tears other than from your own brother. So that's how I feel with regard to that.
Kimmy, you said something earlier that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. You said if anyone deserves to ride off in the sunset, it's Tariq. Why? Why does he deserve that?
Because he's the star of the show. He's holding this whole shit together. Like, I mean, Tariq, I mean, believe it, y'all may not want to hear this, but I feel like a lot of people, they have this love for Ghost that I just don't see. Ghost was a sociopath. He deserved to die. And a lot of people may not agree that Tariq should have been the one to do it, but he had to do it. It's the only thing that makes sense in my mind. Tariq, if he goes on the right track after this and just finishes school and does some other things, I think he should, he has a lot of redemptive qualities about himself that can make the story go in a positive way.
But does the character deserve to ride off into the sunset?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
No
he
label?
does. Yes, he does, man. You can't tell nobody what to do with their daddy. That's that man daddy. If he killed the daddy, he killed the daddy. That's on him, man. Tommy tried to kill that man too. Y'all not forgetting that Tommy tried to kill him too. They man. Ghost got James St. Patrick killed. Tariq just pulled the trigger. You see what I'm saying? That's just how I honestly feel. If somebody, your daddy telling you, look, man, I'm finna go ride off with, I'm finna go be lieutenant governor, you finna go to jail. You ain't going on no campaign trail with me. You and your mama finna go to jail. It's over with. Everything I did is cool, but y'all going to jail. I gotta go live my new life. Man, you finna go. Ain't no way. Y'all can't sit here and tell me Ghost ain't deserved that there. Come on, man. Tariq deserves to ride off in the sunset. He avenged his sister's death, man. He did that. Man, man, Tariq is a team player for the family, bro. He had to put down his best friend, Kanan, for the family. You see what I'm saying? I ain't finna squint my eyes, but I see Jill, and we ain't rocking with Jill. But look, man, that's just how I feel, man. I love Tariq, bro. I got a lot of, similarities to him. I look up to his character a lot, so I'm team Tariq, bro. I agree with you, Miss Keeman. He riding off into the sunset. That's the way it go. That's why I ain't gonna answer the question. But like I said, I can't wish jail on no man, so I would rather him perish. But if riding off in the sunset is another answer, then that's what I'm going with.
Man, Ghosts deserve everything and more. Y'all niggas tripping.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they hating. They hating.
Yeah,
That's
he
what it
deserved.
is.
He deserved it. He deserved to get burnt alive.
What?
Yeah,
What?
he was finna send his own people to jail. He was
Bro,
finna send
hold
his
on,
brother
hold on,
to
hold
the
on.
war. He did the same
This
thing.
this is
Just to
this
go
is
live
this
a
is the thing
clean
that I don't
life.
understand.
No.
I don't understand why people keep saying this. Ghost never said Tariq was going to go to jail.
Man,
Like,
you think he
no, no, no,
wasn't
no,
finna?
no. He said he was going to become lieutenant governor and he'd be able to get him off easy.
Right.
The easy was
Now he
5 years. He says maybe you'll do 5 years, and that'll be the
Hey,
easy.
that's
Maybe,
better than
and
30.
that's maybe, and that's maybe.
Are y'all crazy? Did y'all not remember all of the people that Ghost killed? Like,
Come on
are
now.
we
Did he get caught?
forgetting this?
Did he get caught though? Did he get caught
Did
though?
Tariq get caught? No, he was going to send him to jail. He was going to
He was
give
about to,
him up, his own son. Are you forgetting what
they was
Ghost did to
they
Tommy?
was
Are you
Come on
forgetting
now.
what Ghost did to his wife, to his own family, to everyone around him? Ghost was a horrible person. I need y'all to get that through y'all skulls. He was not good. He wasn't a good person. And yes, people are saying, oh, he wanted to get out of the game. Yeah, he wanted to get out of the game by burying everyone else around him. Like
Facts.
he brought those people into the games, and the way that he treated Tasha. Listen, we're gonna have a very serious discussion about this. He met this girl at 19 years old, groomed her into the person he wanted her to be, brought her into this criminal activity, and then all of a sudden, because now he's 40 and he's tired of it, he's like, oh, I want to kick my feet up now, and he switches on her and says, oh, I want to do something different. You never saw me as anything else. Well, bitch, you just told me you wanted to be a big drug dealer, and I supported you throughout this whole time. And now all of a sudden, oh, okay, I don't want to do this no more. Well, I just turned 30, sir. I didn't know. I'm still in my 20s. I still got a lot more growing to do. You told me you wanted to do all of this, all right? And now, all of a sudden, because Shorty with this pan face came back in your life in the club, that no money. Now you telling me, oh, I don't want to do this family shit with you no more.
Not too much on Angie now. Not too much on Angie. Hold up.
Yeah, we love
I'm just
Angela.
saying. I'm just saying.
Hold up.
Cooking.
How you
So,
gonna say
but
all of
you know,
this?
I can go on for days about why people don't like Tasha. People have a problem with dark skinned
I
black
love
women,
Tasha.
and they also didn't realize her age. There's a lot of problems with colorism here, but that is another conversation that I don't know if you guys are ready to have. So I'm gonna
Listen, they only made Tasha the villain when with that whole situation with Sean in the beginning is because they had to vilify Tasha, because if, let's just say, Tasha said to Ghost in the beginning, Ghost, I'm with whatever you want to do, and then that situation with Sean never happened, they would have vilified Ghost, and they can't vilify the main character. So they make Tasha look bad so that it's okay that he cheated. And then it becomes a big debate the whole rest of the show. They did that on purpose.
But
they know that people are sheep, and because people don't like the way how one person looks and how one person acts, and because we have a feeling and this affinity for white acceptance and for to be adjacent to white people, they're gonna vilify the dark-skinned black woman and make sure that she says something like, oh, I wanted you to be the biggest drug dealer. But because of patriarchy, we're never gonna hold Ghost accountable for what he did within that relationship and bringing her into it as a child or as a teenager. And then because she isn't developing fast enough for you guys, or because she isn't quickly coming out of the life like you guys want her to, considering she didn't even turn 30 yet, she's like, oh, okay, my husband is changing on me. He doesn't want to do this anymore. The thing that he wants to do isn't going to pay for the life that I am accustomed to, that he told me he wanted, that we are currently living. And now all of a sudden she has to change on a drop of a dime because his mind is developed completely different than where she's at. Because what, Ghost is what, 40 by the time we meet them? And Tasha, because he's like 10 years older than her, so maybe he's 39, about to turn 40. And now all of a sudden, everyone is blaming the girl that he groomed into the life. Let's be for real.
Well, allegedly, Power was 6 months. Let them tell it. All 6 seasons.
Oh,
see,
and you
my
know
problem
one thing
is,
we forgot to talk about? Where's the timeline in force? When did Tommy go to New York to go find Tasha and Tariq and to go get Tasha out of witness protection to go try to kill her?
During
what
commercial break. During commercial break, he lay around there and went to
I gotta okay. Let me touch that. All right. Let me touch all of that just happened. So here's what I think about the points that Kimi just raised. It's very strong argument. I see it. Some of it I agree with. However, I think what you have, the issue that we have here with the fan base in Power is that it skews predominantly male. What's contextually relevant about that is, and this is something that I can't remember what the guy's name was when he was interviewing Omari before, but he made sense. And I immediately got it when he said it. It was the fact that we never saw ever, as maybe as men, maybe as women, we've never seen a character like Ghost, a black man, masculine frame, suited and booted, running his own stuff, in control, not out of shape, represented in medium like that. And I think that's why we immediately, and also a family man at that, we immediately connected to the caricature of what he was. And that's why I think even now, 5 years, 6 years removed from his alleged death, that we still can't move on from that. It's because of what the role or the symbolism of what Ghost represented to the predominantly male skewing base of Power. Now, all the stuff that he did, it's true, you know, and when you add and you layer it like that, I get it. And I agree partially to that. But I do think that we have to also remain cognizant of the fact that everybody as characters within this particular universe, they did their own dirt. Some of the dirt that they did was in response to what other people did, but that doesn't change the fact that it happened.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, you can't defend Tariq ever. If you want to say Ghost's a bad person, for sure. But Tariq is just as shitty because he knew how shitty his dad was, and he's following in his footsteps. So what does that say about him? We gotta be fair here. You know, it's fun to crucify Ghost because he's that guy. Nobody likes the person that always wins. I'd
Yeah.
hate me too. I hate him too. I would, but I like to win.
You know, Kimi, I know you got love for Tasha, but I said both of them were in the wrong. Both of them should suffer consequences because I'll start with Ghost. The fact that he manipulated Tommy into killing his own father, now that was fucked up. Like out of all the moves Ghost did to where I could sit there and be like, okay, I understand. But the way he handled the Tariq thing, now that was fucked up. Tasha asked, I'm not even going to get into the cheating, who cheated first, who cheated. They both fucking cheated. They both ruined their fucking family. They both equally played a part in that whole shit falling apart because they taught their kids how to lie from the very get-go. Tasha was thinking about herself. She was being selfish, but Ghost was being just as selfish too. Tasha wanted to keep the life that they had in him seeing a drug dealer, but Ghost wanted to get out of the game. So they were both clashing heads, and they did poor communication, talking with each other to try to figure this out and save their marriage. So they both failed at that. That's number one. On to Tasha. Let's not forget, Tasha did some shiesty ass shit, in particular to her own best friend Lakeisha. Let's not forget the fact in season 3 that wasn't she going behind Lakeisha's back, money laundering to clean Tommy's money behind Keisha's back? And Keisha is a whole ass civilian. This is before Keisha was even mingling with Tommy like that. Keisha was a whole ass civilian from the very beginning of Power. And she could have got her friend locked up and in jail. And she kept going to Keisha to try to lie to her, trying to use her and manipulate her to give her these alibis and to lie on the stand and on oath. So Tasha really did some shiesty shit. And we didn't even talk about the fact that she killed her own best friend. Yes, she signed the snitch papers at the end of the day, but the way she went about it was hella wrong. She tried to pin that murder on Ghost and try to play it off like she didn't do it and lied about it. Also, too, Tommy always looked out for Tasha, even though he didn't tell her about the Ghost cheating situation, which that's a very complex situation to be in because that's his brother, that's his sister. So you wouldn't even want to like touch that because like that's just a really fucking hard thing to do. So you can't even be mad at Tommy for not even speaking up in that regard. But Tommy always looked out for Tasha and he cared about her. The only times Tommy really was like against Tasha was when he found out about the shit that her and Ghost set up Kanan to go to jail. That's when they had a little bit of beef for a bit, but then they came back together. And then for Tasha to try to pin the murder of Ghost on Tommy, his own best friend, like that's fucked up. So Tasha, honestly, she did a lot of fucked up shit. All of them did some fucked up shit. Tommy was unloyal at points. All of these motherfuckers were shiesty as hell to each other. So at the end of the day, everybody did some foul shit. Everybody should deserve the consequences. Tariq, he is no saint, even though he tried to portray himself as one like his father once did, because he's a lying, manipulative, sociopathic hypocrite at the end of the day. And that's what this show really should be called, hypocrite, because everybody's a hypocrite.
I agree.
There was just one clarification that I want to remind people of. So the thing with Tasha and Lakeisha, do y'all remember that scene? Who ran for the gun first?
Lakeisha.
Exactly. If you try to pull a gun on me, which is why we are reconciling the thing between Marshall and Darnell or DMAC, is because you can't pull a gun on me and think that I'm not going to kill you, because Lakeisha went for the gun first, and Tasha, one, defended herself. Two, she's also defending her son and Tommy because she was about to snitch. And like I told y'all before, they keep telling us, if you snitch, you gotta die, which was my whole beef with the whole Vic stuff. But yeah, Lakeisha went for the gun first. And if you go for a gun first on me, that means you mean to kill me. You mean to bring me harm. So I'm gonna kill you. or in TV character world.
Yeah, you right in that regard. I'll just say, just real quick, not to interrupt, but you right in that regard. It's just the way that how Tasha handled it afterwards, trying to pin it on Ghost and try to play off like she did it. If she would
I
just
agree.
attempted, like at least attempt to make some type of honesty about it, then it could have been different. But it was a complex situation, so it was just fucked up how she went about it. I'll say that. But I agree with you on she went for the gun first and just defending herself. I agree.
Listen, Tommy was gonna kill Lakeisha anyway when he found out that she was signing them papers. I don't understand what's this whole big deal about Tasha killing. Who cares?
Yeah,
Who cares
she was
that
cooked
Tasha
either
killed
way.
Lakeisha?
Either way, she
She's
was
gonna
gonna
get,
die.
yeah, like Tommy's gonna do the shit.
You know what, who's the real? You know who the real villain is for that whole situation? Courtney Kemp and her writing team. The way they handled season 6, that's who the fucking villain is. Because that whole shit, the way the whole season was handled, was bullshit and very stupid. That's why I told Nick the other day, I can't watch the last 6 episodes of the final season. I just can't, because all around when I tried to rewatch it, that shit was a mess all around. So it's really the writers who was the villains for all that shit.
Listen,
Yeah.
either way,
Okay.
there is no good way that they could end it, because if they keep Ghost alive, then there's really no sense of having spinoffs. You see what I'm saying? So it's like things had to happen. So at the end of the day, they get paid the big bucks to make those decisions. It is what it is. As Power fans, we just gotta fucking just deal with it and move on with our day.
You know,
We gonna
Sam,
like it or we not.
I kind of disagree, because the political element of Power was actually pretty interesting. So I always wonder what would have happened if we proceeded with him becoming lieutenant governor, and then now the tension of that, whether that's in the same show or a spinoff, would have just been everybody who knows about him trying to expose him, and him using his newfound power to try to keep himself in the position that he's in. I think that would have added a whole new level, of
I can
intrigue
agree with that.
to the show.
Yeah, a bit like
yeah,
House of Cards or something like that. Something going on.
facts. And then
sure.
eventually, knocking off who would have been the primary governor. And then the guy who was one of the biggest drug dealers in New York could now become the most powerful man in probably arguably one of the most powerful cities in the world, New York.
Yeah, that takes it.
I think that within itself leads me into my next point. The DNC, if you guys would have realized, I brought this up the other day on my video. You guys realize now this is the second black candidate that was put forth by the DNC in the Power universe that has now succumbed to being exposed as having very intimate ties with the drug element.
Niggas die.
Does something like that just go away? That's something I'm putting forth. I mean, I think that's something to think about in the future when we get a future show or whatever like that. That political element, Stephen Ott. I can't remember what the other lady's name was who was in force, but that's now two major cities that the DNC has put forth, and they got wrapped up in drugs, and that's a bad look on the party. So I would like to see what the response to that would be and how they could make a storyline regarding that.
When you speak about the political aspect, man, that's why I was honestly hoping and wishing we was getting that Rashad Tate spinoff influence, because I've honestly felt like if you wanted to do something very uniquely different and take the Power universe in a different direction, that Tate spinoff and going in that political sphere and kind of mixing in a little bit of some street angles into it could have been really interesting. I honestly wish we could have got that spinoff series.
Me too.
But they I guess they just couldn't figure out the story and the hook for it or something. I don't know. They never gave a full explanation, but damn, what y'all think? Was y'all interested in that Tate spinoff?
Heck yeah. I still wish we could get that.
I'm still hoping we can get it. If they have the right cast, gold show.
They're not paying for
could
that
be-
shit, man. They're not putting money on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to consider with that one. only because do you guys look at your demographics in terms of who watches and who's watching your content? Like,
Yeah.
if they were to do the political show, that definitely plays to an older crowd. Like, even when I go through the demographics or like just looking at who responds to certain posts, younger people responded to Power Book 2 Ghost, obviously because of what the cast looked like. Now, the cast isn't necessarily young. Everybody there is pushing 30, with the exception of Tariq, with Michael Rainey Jr. But even Gianni Paolo is getting up there. Alex Lepre, I believe she's about 30 now. She should almost be 30.
She don't look 30.
Right. I mean, at the time, I think when season 3 years, she may have been, what, 27, 28. So, but whatever the case is, right? Those shows poll for a younger audience. And with something where Lawrence Tate is at the helm, I think it's going to be for an older crew. So maybe they just haven't found a way like to anchor it yet. Maybe it would be like Original Power, and because Tariq got older within Original Power, that did bring in a younger audience. So I'm wondering how they would bring in an audience for an older show like that, because once politics gets involved, I don't know how many young people are going to be watching that, because how many people watch The West Wing? When we was little, did you watch The West Wing? You didn't watch The West Wing, did you? Like, I don't think a lot of people are going to watch. A lot of younger people are going to watch that. So we'll see.
Could have been the Power Universe version of House of Cards.
Yeah, and right, House of Cards, West Wing, things like that. I don't know. I don't know too many people who were under 35 who watched House of Cards. I mean, I watched it when I was under 35, but I didn't. I mean, then Kevin Spacey did what he did, and that was that.
He fucked that shit up bad.
Terrible.
I think
it was a good show too.
Yeah.
Great show.
I think if Ghost was the main character, maybe it could have worked. But the fact that it would be harder. Maybe Ghost could have probably made up. Maybe a few younger people watch it, but yeah, without Ghost, it's hard. That's hard.
That's why I don't understand the notion of Ghost had to die for them to have these spin-offs. Bullshit. They just wanted to kill him. Just say that. Just be honest about it. Don't know him, play game. They wanted to kill him. Because whether or not Ghost, with or without Ghost dying, these spin-offs would have happened.
I mean, 50 did say that Courtney wanted to kill Ghost this season.
And everyone be like, 50 got beef with Omari. I don't think so. I think the beef is with Courtney. You know what I mean? Because 50 does his little trolling shit. He's going to do what he's going to do with everybody. But he said what he said. He said Courtney and 50 had beef. Not him and Omari. He said Courtney. So she's kind of out the way now. So who knows? Maybe Ghost can come back and kill Tariq for us.
So they couldn't make if they did influence, they couldn't make that like a younger crowd type of like getting like younger people involved in the politics or like interested in politics. They wouldn't be able to do so.
That'd be difficult.
Yeah, I think the issue they had was because when they made Power Ghost, they already took the demographic all the way down, and then Force, because the actions there it works, but the more they get the young audience, the harder it becomes to go all the way back to how it used to be.
I don't think it'll be that difficult because I know a lot of young people that watch Law and Order that just sit there and watch it, don't even know what's going on.
Facts.
So I feel like they could incorporate it because Tate had people working for him. You know what I'm saying? Like interns and all that. He could have young people from the block working for him, but they selling drugs on the low and Tate could end up getting his hands dirty or something. I feel like they could do it if they put their mind to it.
Yeah.
Is it that you think that they felt Lorenz couldn't carry a show?
I don't know. His schedule pretty busy. Lorenz Tate is
absolutely
top nice dude.
It's about money, bro. It's just about money. They're just cheap. They're cheap.
Yeah, they basically like they wanted to
sugarcoating it.
Yeah, they wanted to incorporate Tate into the storyline, number one, and then because he was very heavily involved in Ghost and Tariq's story. So also they didn't want to have two separate shows where you're feeding off two separate budgets. You know what I mean? So like, how can you do that if he's actively involved in Tariq's storyline?
So but that's the whole point. He wouldn't be anymore. because he'd be on his own show.
And
Yeah,
maybe that was the
that's
point. He's too
very
far removed from the core of what we know power to be. Tate would have been going in his own direction with his own group of people, and then people would have been like, "Man, where's Tommy? You know, where's some of these other familiar faces?"
Yeah, unless
I
they
mean,
do like a Tay
take a risk.
origin.
I mean, it depends who
Take
you
it-
ask, man. I'm a fan of Lorenz, so I would have watched just for him.
Yeah, I liked it. Whenever
But I
I
think-
rewatch that episode that was just for his in season 6 of Power, I always I'm like, damn, this is good, man. Like this, New York leads the way. That whole chant when he started that, I was like, boy, this really had potential. And this leads me into my last point, guys. Do we think that Legacy is actually going to get picked up?
It will. I think it
Yes.
will. 100%.
Yes.
absolutely. It's a money grab.
But it'll
Because-
get knocked out in 2 seasons. So
How about this? I'll give them 3. I'll give them a
yeah,
smooth
max. And then
I'll
they'll
give
do
them-
what they did with Force again and spin off some other bullshit. Like it's very obvious what they're doing here. They just want to save money. But
That
it's
show is
like-
guaranteed 4 seasons. Guaranteed.
No, maybe
Guaranteed.
3. No, I
Guaranteed.
think 3.
Guaranteed.
So the 4th season is where they renegotiate contracts. It's not going
Yep.
past 3.
Yeah, bro. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, they'll probably do a movie.
I don't even think they want to pay them now. People are talking about, oh, this guaranteed. Michael Rainey and Joseph not cheap no more. They're gonna have to pay. Y'all
They
see
can
the
afford
response that Tariq got from the finale? He holds
They can
weight
afford
now,
it. They
bro.
don't have 2 separate shows now. So they can afford to pay Michael and Joseph whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, I think they can afford
I don't know
them
about
both.
that.
Yeah, I
They
think they
just
can
cancel
afford both.
production on 2 separate shows, 3 separate shows, and if you include BMF.
And Raising
Yeah,
Canaan,
they're gonna-
which is already kind of in the can if you really think about
Yeah.
that. So
Right.
Yeah.
So they all that's dead now. So they have nothing but funds to bring in whoever they want to bring in. Fucking Taraji, they can do it now.
But not quite, because keep in mind
I
the
don't
reason
know
they
about that.
canceled these
I don't know
shows
about
was because they lost. They split from Lionsgate. That was a lot of money, so they don't have that anymore. So that was a big reason as to why they did what they did. But I mean, Legacy, I don't know if it does 2028, maybe maybe late 2028 or something like that. Realistically speaking,
Who don't care at that point, bro? I'm not
I mean,
real
they haven't
anymore.
even started filming yet. So yeah, there's
Something
no
gonna
way.
look
It's,
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
way
They haven't
they
gone
make
to
They ain't even
production.
confirmed the
they're gonna
name
release it
Legacy
if they
yet.
start filming in the second
that's
half of this year.
crazy work.
they about to
That's
milk
crazy
Raising
work.
Canaan. We won't get that shit till December.
Yeah.
No, don't say that, bro.
Yeah.
Now,
Don't say
Bro,
that.
they're gonna
that
drag that shit, bro. They ain't
I
even
feel like
drop
they gonna milk
P-Valley.
it too. I feel like they gonna milk it simply because we was supposed to get another. I feel like we should have got another teaser right before Force. Not that coming soon.
Yeah, I said that in
You
my
know that's coming soon already, man. Because when that
Oh,
episode
yeah.
came out, I
Oh,
got
yeah.
my phone out ready to screen record the teaser for Raising Canaan. That's what I just knew was popping
Oh,
off.
yeah.
I said, man, they finna be watching this episode. I'm finna be getting this paper, making this video. But nope, they talking about some coming soon. Like we don't know that already. Didn't it take a week or 2 to shoot one episode? It's 18 episodes, man. You don't need to know it's coming soon. You sound like somebody got life talking about they coming home.
No, man. It takes them like when they're in production, it takes about five
come on,
weeks
man.
to 6 weeks to make an episode, I think. So that's
But
why
here's
it
the
takes so
thing.
long. But if you look at like the old schedules, probably maybe June we might get Raising Canaan. Maybe June.
It take
Yeah,
about a week to shoot the episode.
Bro,
It take
they
about a
ain't
week.
even dropped P-Valley, dog. And all these shows have come
What?
out already.
What is that?
P-Valley been in
P-Valley.
the P-Valley been in the box for like 3 years.
Keep it there.
No, but
What?
P-Valley
P-Valley's
has
gonna be
been
first, and then they'll probably do Fightland first.
Oh, I
Oh,
forgot about
I'm
Fightland.
gonna be on that.
They damn near finished with that.
Right. So if that's almost finished, we might get that before. Well, no, I think Raising Canaan will be
Oh.
first.
I forgot about that.
Raising
I don't
Canaan is
know
going
about
to be
that,
released
man.
before the end of December.
They
I
be
can
lying.
guarantee you that.
If they say winter, that shit coming out
Raising Canaan
sooner.
before Fightland, because I know Raising Canaan. That's probably shot, filmed, and edited already.
That shit
Oh,
finished filming
definitely.
2 years ago.
Yeah, long
They
time.
done. They been
I don't know
done.
about 2 years, but
Because remember they what's the name? Remember they renewed for season
Bro,
5.
they was filming season 5 in
for
like
season
March
Right.
2024.
Yeah. That's true.
They
Yeah.
essentially saw
Yeah, that
season
makes
4 and
sense.
5 back to back.
Yeah, back to back. They shot them back to back.
That
So
makes
basically,
Back
you
to back.
understand
But they're gonna milk it, y'all.
Back to back.
There is no other show. There is no more BMF, so they're gonna milk it as much as possible.
Yeah, they got to tide it over. So like, I think Origins happens like February, March of 2027.
Damn.
But
I can
then,
see that.
yeah,
That's too
that's
soon.
Golly.
That's too soon. No way.
What you mean too soon?
No, it is going to be around that time. Because
Yeah,
they
well,
started
it is
filming
18
Bro,
episodes.
they're not gonna drop 18 episodes at once. They're gonna split that
Wait,
shit
bro.
up.
P Valley, Fightland, and what else? And Raise a Canaan. So by the time those 3 shows all air, if they are back to back, then maybe we get it in February. If they're not back to back, we're talking about summertime.
Nobody.
How long
Yeah,
y'all
P Valley.
think Orange is gonna last? Because this 18 episodes is pretty crazy. Because that's 2 seasons. Like, you know, because the first season of Power was 8 episodes.
We're getting part 1 and part 2. That shit is not going to be 18 episodes straight. Are you crazy?
Fuck
They is
no.
not going to let Power fans eat like that.
They
No,
let us
no.
eat
What
like
he's
that
asking
before.
is it only gonna be those 18 episodes? Like that's it?
What I'm at. Yeah. How long you think it's gonna last?
And it's a mini
That's
series.
too
No,
soon.
I think it's.
We don't
I
want no
think
fucking mini series.
I think three seasons.
I think the
They gotta
reason
go. They gotta go more than that, man.
Because you have a whole new cast who you don't have to pay big bucks to as yet like that. So
Yeah,
you can
milk
just
that shit.
you can let that run. So I think we get 18 episodes strong first season. Then they go back to 10 for season 2, and then top it off in season 3. Because eventually the timeline's gonna have to catch up to 2014 at some or close to it as possible. So yeah,
We're going to get
I
part
think
1,
timeline
then
is the last thing
5
to
months
worry
later,
about.
then we'll get part 2.
I honestly think they're going to split it between 2 seasons. Remember Daredevil Born Again, anyone? They announced that for 18 episodes, and they split that shit up into 2 different seasons. And I honestly feel in my heart that's going to be that same exact situation. Just because you have to think of it from a pacing and a flowing state as well as a series. Power is used to like that 8 to 10 episode max season. So a whole first season, 18 episodes, I just can't see it. Can't see it from a pacing standpoint.
Yeah, I just hope they got some baddies in there too. Power's done a good job of having the baddies, so if they can just keep that up, keep these beautiful women in it, they'll be fine.
The young Tasha casting.
Man, Tasha don't need to be in that show. Don't know, but we seen enough of her. I'm good off.
Oh, hey, cut it out, bro.
I'm good off
Tasha's
Tasha.
not in the show.
I'm good off
They're gonna give me
Tasha.
There's no way Tasha's not in the show. I'm sorry.
season 2. Season 2. They're gonna give a year and a half.
Tasha's
don't
going
need
to
to
come in
see her,
around
bro.
season 2.
She could be a reoccurring or a guest star.
How's she a guest star? They have Tariq in 01, 02, right?
Bro, see, this is the thing. Like timelines, I don't know why y'all still care about that shit. It doesn't exist in Power. They just say whatever. I don't know why y'all be so attached to these. It don't matter. It's make
Continuity,
believe.
continuity.
Yeah, like
but it has to exist because
Courtney
when
Kemp
they're
said the whole Power was 6 months, bro. That's when she lost me.
Well,
Yeah, I
okay,
know.
hold on a second. But this is the same Courtney Kemp who posted a whole picture saying Angela is not dead after the season 5 finale on her Instagram page.
Well, that's not what she said. She said she got shot. She said she got shot. She didn't.
I
She
remember-
wasn't dead. She didn't die yet. She got shot.
I'll
So-
shot the sheriff.
Right.
Well, that
And
didn't
for
shoot
the
to death.
twins being born, they were born in, I believe, 2004. So if Origins is in like 99, 2000s, we have a couple years of them without the twins being born.
Okay, so then Tasha could be a guest star there. That's fine.
She don't gotta be in it at all. Shit.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
she got to because she has to because of them setting up Kanan. Just for that one fact alone, she has
I think Angie's more crucial than Tasha at that time.
Angela don't need to be in it at all.
And
Actually,
she's not going to be in it because they're not in school time. And remember, she goes away to choke and he doesn't see her.
right? Unless they're gonna just have those, timelines work at the same time, but not interact with each other.
Damn.
Yeah,
I think we see Angela for like an episode or 2 max, like a quick little pop up, like her seeing.
Yeah,
Jamie,
Go's gonna
I'm
clap
at
some cheeks
choke.
real quick and then she gonna bounce.
Jamie. No, she's not going to be there. She's in choke or wherever she is. She's in choke, then she goes to college. Right now, they look to be about older teens, early 20s. So there's
Somebody in the
doubt we'll see Tasha.
comments said somebody in the comments said Bettina Miller confirmed she's not in season 5 of Raising Kanan. She said it was a great 4 years. Yeah, that's what they say. She's lying.
Rock
That's
is a
not
pack.
true. We have pictures of her filming.
She's
Literally.
lying. Come
And
on.
Rock is a pack.
Can I
It was
remind
a great 4 years because
She ain't
they
no pack.
filmed
They could have shot
five
them 5
directly
seasons in 4
right
years.
She ain't no
after.
pack.
Come on, man.
She ain't no pack.
Rock is dead as shit.
No, she's
Nah,
not.
Oh, see, you gotta be careful what you're saying on here, man.
Remember,
You
Raising
disrespecting Rock.
Kanan is not exactly Kanan's show. Yes, his name is in the title, but if you really think about it, it's Rock's show. The
It
story
is.
is about a mother and a son.
Facts.
And I even say about
Kanan is a
Raising
side
Kanan,
character.
it's not just a drug dealing show. It's really a family drama when you look at Raising Kanan. That's what it is.
Origins won't be Ghost and Tommy's show either. It'll be Kanan's show.
No, fuck
And I'm
out.
letting y'all know that now.
Hell no.
The post that Courtney Kemp made on September 11, 2018 is Angela
Damn, how
is
you
not
find that?
dead. Hashtag Power TV. Hashtag season 6.
Yeah, but she wasn't dead.
This is
wasn't.
hashtag investigator right here. Post from 2018.
Right, but that's his point.
Yeah, but she wasn't. She didn't lie. She wasn't dead.
Technically, Rock not dead. But Rock is a pack.
If you think that the star of the show is not gonna have a major presence in the final season,
Bro, if she's dead,
season 5 is about Breeze.
Bro.
Season 5 is about Breeze. He's about to raise Kanan now. It's his turn.
I hate this concept of Breeze. Like, y'all don't even know what this guy is about. Like, y'all.
We about to find out.
Yeah, they about to pop him in there and get him out of there
Breeze.
quick.
I don't care at all.
Nobody
Like,
cares about Breeze no more.
No one cares.
We stopped caring a long time ago.
Breeze is about to raise Kanan. It's his turn.
Breeze is about to get smoked. That's what's about to happen.
Breeze about to come and go. He like the wind with the wind. He about to go with the wind.
He about to be 6 feet under.
This the same thing we talk about, like behind the scenes stuff. You got to keep in mind. Shamik Moore.
Someone just asked a question in the chat saying that Tasha celebrated her 30th birthday. They were 10 years old. They asked how old was Tariq and Raina. They were 10.
Oh. But yeah, Shamik Moore, you know, so he gonna raise Kanan in them 10 episodes, and that's about it.
Facts.
I don't know if people are really rocking with Shamik like that.
But see, doesn't that contradict what they're saying in the OG Power though?
Breeze is gonna take out Unique because we all know that's gonna happen.
I agree.
But who's gonna take out Breeze?
Ghost.
Ghost and Tommy.
Ghost and Tommy.
How? They're not gonna be in Raising Kanan. I don't see Breeze on the cast.
That's gonna happen off screen. That's gonna be a flashback.
Yeah. I agree with Sam. It's gonna be a flashback in Origins.
Nah,
they're gonna
they can't do
see
that,
him
bro.
walk up behind him watching Jeopardy with a cereal box. Like, we're just gonna see a guy with cornrows. We're not even gonna see Shamik, and it's gonna be like pop, and that's that.
If they do that, that's whack as hell. You can't hype up a moment like that and then not show it.
Bro,
Tariq is definitely going to be in Power Origins. They probably just haven't announced it yet because they want season 5 of Raising Kanan in the air, and then like, yeah, Shamik's in and whoop because you want to actually see how his storyline is going to play out in that final season before they like talk like, oh yeah, he's going to be in Origins now. Is he going to be a series regular? I don't think so. I think he's going to be more the recurring role, and the focus is going to be more so Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy.
That's not going to be in Origins.
It is going to be Origins, but Kanan listen, Origins. Kanan is going to be running.
That nigga dead. That nigga dying.
Kanan is going to be running shit.
Done.
I don't think Breeze makes it to Origins.
Marvin not making it. That's all I know.
Facts.
He dead.
Well, let's check. You know what we can check right now? Let's see if Shamik Moore booked anything else. So I'm checking IMDb right now, and that'll tell us if he'll be in there. Because if he doesn't have the time to film it, he's not going to be there. And they're filming right now. Let's see.
But you never know how schedules work, though. I mean, Spider-Man is only voice work for him, so.
Yeah, and a lot of actors, they only shoot on certain films and projects for like 2 weeks. Scheduling change all the time. It's like, oh yeah, you have this big amount of role. Okay, yeah, we only need you for like 2 weeks. And Shameik doesn't really do a lot of other TV. He mainly does movies, and movies don't take as long as people think. People think movies take like 6 months to shoot. Some films only take 30 days, if
And
that.
remember,
So
I mean, if we're talking about like Tyler Perry, yeah, he films in like a
Tyler
week.
Perry's is 2 weeks. Tyler
yeah.
Perry's is 2 weeks and 2 takes
Tell me.
only.
That made me make it. That man shot the Straw movie in 2 days.
Sometimes days, yeah.
Crazy dog.
Shameik's gonna have a lot of time because remember they got to keep him and and Haley Steinfeld separate. So you got to keep them separated.
He fumbled.
He fumbled. He crashed out over her publicly. So I
Shameik
think
more about to get casted for Paid in Full. I'm calling it now.
So it says that he's still filming Beyond the Spider-Verse. So I don't know, guys.
They've been working on that shit for how long now, bro?
No, probably the next one because they already did that one is already done.
No, Beyond the Spider-Verse is the last one.
Yeah, that's the last one.
So it's just voice acting. So that's just a studio session.
3 years.
2 hours, and that's done.
3 years.
So when they list that for him still filming, that's just the whole film, like in general, still filming. It's not just like particularly him, like still filming.
No, but what I'm saying is there's nothing else. There is something else on the docket for him. We don't know where they're at in production in terms of the Spider-Verse movie or for this other one. That one is in post-production. So you never know what he's going to be doing. Do I think he's going to make an appearance in Origins? I hope they don't just bring him back just for season 5 of it can't just be for season 5 of Raising Kanan because we do have to see some sort of developmental relationship between him and Kanan for us to see like where their bond came in and why he was so hurt by Ghost setting him up. So that has to happen at some point or another. Whether or not he makes it to Origin, I think it makes sense that he does make it to Origins, but who knows?
And they had to definitely lock him up on a contract. Like, we're going to be filming for this amount of days, so you can do no other shit around this time. So that if he's going to be Breeze, if Breeze is going to be that major a part, even going into Origins, best believe they locked all that shit down. So you don't even got to worry about all the scheduling and all that other stuff.
It's just suspicious.
Is there anybody else in OG Power that can make it to like season 2 Origins? That would be crazy.
Wait, you know what we forgot to talk about? And shout out to is his name? Hold on, Timmy in the chat. You know what we forgot to talk about? Remember when IMDb put that Ghost was going to make an appearance in episode 10? Did y'all talk about that yet?
I knew that was bullshit.
I never made a video.
I knew that was bullshit, bro. I knew that was
Technically,
bullshit.
he was mentioned.
I had to eat real quick.
I'm not even going to be feeding into this shit. That's why I didn't even speak on. I'm like, y'all really buying this shit? Anybody can go on to IMDb and edit this. It's just like Wikipedia. Hancock 2 is still listed on IMDb. That should tell you just how bullshit it is.
Yeah, it's fake when they just named him as Ghost. They didn't even say James St. Patrick in like quotes Ghost or something. That's like, this is garbage.
Oh shit. But I appreciate you guys for joining me. If that's all you guys have to say, there's not any other topics, concerns, theories, statements, we'll let you guys out of here. Appreciate everyone for joining me. And we'll see you guys in 2028 for our legacy.
I think Raising Kanan is coming out this year. It should be either March or summer. So either March or summer.
The way stars been moving,
that shit not coming till fall max early.
They be lying.
My prediction is either April or July.
Why is it April?
Is November 1st.
Because if it was going to March, we probably would have started the marketing for it right now, and we would have gotten that teaser right in front of Force if it was going to be released in March. January is already about to be over, and we about to enter February. So they like to have about 2 months of marketing and promotion in between. So that's why I say April. I was along with you at one point, Kimi, when I was saying March because it would make sense to release at the same time they released it in 2025. But stars are shitty with their marketing and their distribution on shit. So it is what it is. That's why I say it's going to be released no later than the end of summer. No later. No question about it.
It's going to be way longer than summer because the Tariq show is running right now. When that show ends, it'll be P-Valley. And when that show ends, they may go on a break.
Y'all been watching the Tariq show? I ain't tapped in yet.
I haven't.
No, I'm gonna watch it when I get home.
It keeps popping up on the app, and they keep pushing it away.
Yes.
But you know,
Do y'all think P Valley is? I don't know about P Valley anymore. Is P Valley really gonna come back? It's been years.
P Valley,
No point.
they finished filming
There's no
season
point.
3.
Yeah, and I say P Valley.
Yeah,
has
but
a
they
bit of an
finished years
excuse.
ago, bro.
Yeah, they
finished in,
have
like,
a bit of an
24.
excuse for why the long delay, because they got the renewal, and then don't forget the writer strike happened
Right, yeah.
and the actor strike happened before they even started writing the show, and we
And
know
they got
that
sued,
the
too.
strikes lasted for like several months. So they have a little bit of an excuse for the long delay, because they honestly just got fucked over by the strikes.
Yeah, they also had that lawsuit too, where somebody basically said that they wrote P Valley and they took it from them. So that was like
I
a whole big
remember
thing.
that too. Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, but the same thing happened with Power, so and that got dismissed. So I'm not really too.
I ain't never heard about
yeah,
that.
everybody thinks they wrote everything nowadays. Fucking
Yeah.
Jurassic. Oh no, I wrote Jurassic Park.
I never heard that. That's crazy.
All right. Well, until Raising
Yes, sir.
Canaan comes back, I'll see you guys around on these Power streets.
All righty.